Make this video. I have been thinking about how to make this video for over a month now, and I'm just gonna stop overthinking it and just be honest. And this isn't scripted, this isn't anything. I'm just making the video and I'm gonna be honest with you guys and transparent, and let's talk about it. So most of the internet knows by now that I was charged with a felony. There is so much to unpack with this entire situation. So buckle up, this might be a super long video. So after I moved back to Illinois to my parents' house from Florida, I got a call from Broward Police Department, and I thought it was something regarding, Noah's case or something like that. But they informed me that there was a warrant out for my arrest, and I started having a full body panic attack. I asked them on what charge, and they told me lewd and lascivious, I believe that's how you say it. And I was like, is that a misdemeanor? And they said no, it's a felony. So I was freaking out, genuinely so scared, didn't know what was going to happen. But I knew that there was a warrant out for my arrest. So the incident that occurred that is in question was regarding an incident that happened back at my apartment in Fort Lauderdale in April. At the time, my mental health was terrible. I was drinking a lot to try and numb the pain of everything that was going on in my life, one of which was that my daughter wasn't in Florida at the time. She was in Illinois with my parents because of a lot of things that were going on with Noah. And being away from her broke my heart every single day. It was almost unbearable. Also, none of this is an excuse. I'm just trying to give you guys kind of where my mind was at the time when all this happened. So during this time, I really did not have a good caregiving situation. Selena was getting married, so she was really busy with that. I had another caregiver, and she wasn't always available. So there were a lot of times that I would go without care, and with having my disease, that can be very stressful, not only mentally, but also, harmfully physically. And I just felt really hopeless at this time. It was hard to even get my basic needs met during this time. So I was drunk one night, came home to my apartment. I knew I wasn't going to have a caregiver to help me to bed that night. So I saw someone in my elevator in my building, and I asked them if they could help me. And they said yes. And obviously, we all know this is the incident where everyone's talking about the 13-year-old. At the time, I did not know his age. I knew he was probably a teenager. But with being disabled, my intentions were purely caregiving. There was no sexual motivation whatsoever. As being a disabled person that's 31 years old, I have had a lot of strangers help me, which obviously isn't the most safe thing, but sometimes you have to do what you have to do to get taken care of. And I realized this was a huge mistake on my part, and I wasn't really thinking about the repercussions it would have. The person, he was very kind to me, said he would help me, and basically at that point, I didn't have care that day, so I was essentially sitting in pee. So I asked him to put me in a bathtub. So he did take off my dress, and he put me in the bathtub. I told this to the police. This is all public record as well. And to me, it wasn't weird because at the time, one, I was drunk, and all I really wanted was to get pee off of me. And two, to me, caregiving is clinical. It isn't inherently sexual to see a naked body. But obviously this kid was younger, and it was not a very good decision on my part, obviously. So he did not touch me or anything. He just took off my dress, put me in the bathtub, and I just sat there, let my body kind of rinse off for a minute. And yeah, essentially he helped me do some stuff around the house a little bit, and I asked him to put me in my bed with my BiPAP on, and he did. He was very kind. At that point, his mom had been calling, and he wasn't really answering, so I was like, no, just answer. You could tell her my unit number, have her come down, and I just want to thank her for you helping me in this really, really hard time that I'm going through right now with the lack of care. At that point, I was already in my bed, and his mom did come down when I was in my bed, so I didn't even see her or anything in her face. But she just started yelling at me, and she was very, very upset. That is when the next day, the police showed up to my apartment, questioned me. I told them the truth. I told them everything. And at that point, it was very, very scary because I, was basically accused of being a predator. And everyone online, this is everywhere. This is on TikTok. This is on Facebook. Everyone's been posting about it. And I'm not a predator. Anyone that knows me in my real life knows I'm not a predator. Anyways, I think the kid, don't even remember his name. That was it. And then, yeah, like I said, 2 months ago, whatever, a month and a half, you guys know the timeline's better than me. I got a call about my warrant, flew to Florida with some good friends of mine that were so supportive, and I essentially had to go in to turn myself in to get arrested, to get rid of the warrant. You have to do that, and then get bonded out. So I went there to do that. Scariest thing in my life. I didn't end up going to jail or getting processed the traditional way because they weren't equipped to handle someone with my type of disability. Although my attorneys did kind of give them a lot of prior information about what my needs would be during this whole processing through the jail. But when I got there, they were not equipped or ready to handle that. So I ended up getting fingerprinted right in the courtroom. Yeah, just 37 minutes. I have been thinking about how to make this